After stop scrolling. Your future is slipping away while you sit here. It's time to fight for it. No, ladies and gentlemen, stop scrolling. This is your moment. And every second you wait, your dreams slip away. New video just dropped with David Goggins. And it's the wake-up call you've been waiting for. Tap na bulb. Feel the energy and unleash the giant within. Every second you let slip away is a second you will never get back. Standing. And most people live as if time is some infinite resource they can waste without consequence. They wait for the stars to align, for the situation to feel comfortable, for some magical sign that it's the right moment to begin. But the truth is, life is not waiting for you. Every moment you hesitate, the world keeps moving forward, and opportunities pass you by unnoticed. You convince yourself that you're planning or preparing, but in reality, you're hiding behind excuses that make procrastination feel justified. You scroll, you distract, you tell yourself tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow never changes unless you act today. The clock does not care about your feelings, your fears, or your doubts. It ticks relentlessly whether you move or not. Standing, you cannot negotiate with time. It's the one opponent you will never defeat, but you can refuse to let it beat you by inaction. And stop thinking about what could happen and start doing what must be done. We often believe that we will have more energy, more clarity, or more motivation later. But that illusion is the very thing that keeps us stuck. If you don't act when the idea is fresh, the fire fades and the urgency disappears. Standing, you begin to rationalize why now isn't the right time, convincing yourself that your future self will magically become braver or more disciplined. But the truth is, standing, your future self is just an extension of your current habits. If you're waiting today, you'll still be waiting tomorrow, next week, and next year. Every delay is like a small leak in a boat. The longer you ignore it, the more water you take on until eventually you sink. Action is the only patch for that leak. Standing. And every step forward is a refusal to drown in your own hesitation. The moment you feel resistance is the exact moment you need to move, not step back. Every time you choose action over delay, you teach yourself that you are a fighter, not a dreamer. Most people mistake preparation for progress. Standing, and that's why they never move beyond the starting line. They read, they research, they plan, but they never throw themselves into the fight. Standing. You can study the map all you want, but if you never take the first step, you're still standing in the same place. The perfect moment will never arrive because perfection doesn't exist in reality, only in imagination. Waiting for it is like waiting for a train that was never scheduled to come. Real progress is messy, uncertain, and uncomfortable, but it's the only way forward. Standing. You will stumble, you will fail, and you will doubt yourself along the way, but those are the signs that you're actually moving. The world rewards those who are willing to begin before they feel ready, because they understand that readiness is built through the process, not before it. No one wins by waiting on the sidelines. There's a harsh truth most won't accept. Nobody is coming to save you, to push you, or to drag you into action. You can have mentors, coaches, and supporters, but they can't walk the path for you. At some point, you must decide that the cost of staying the same is greater than the fear of changing. Every person you admire, every story of transformation you've heard, standing, started with one decision to stop waiting and start. They didn't have all the answers. They had the courage to begin anyway. That courage wasn't a gift they were born with. It was a choice they made in the face of uncertainty. You have that same choice every day, but it's easy to forget when comfort keeps you numb. The only question is whether you'll keep choosing safety or finally choose yourself. When you look at your life right now, ask yourself this: are you where you want to be, or are you still telling yourself you'll get there one day? Standing. The problem with one day is that it's not on the calendar. It's an empty promise you keep making to yourself so you can feel better about not acting. Standing. Every dream you want to reach demands a price, and the first payment is action. You cannot skip this part, no matter how much you think about it. Visualize it or or talk about it. Dreams without action become ghosts that haunt you, reminding you of what you could have been. You don't need more time, you need more urgency. Standing. You don't need more plans, you need more execution. That shift in thinking can change everything in your life starting right now. Hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will. Failure can teach you, shape you, and strengthen you. But hesitation robs you before you even get the chance to try. You will never know what you're capable of until you push yourself beyond the moment of doubt and into action. That step forward may not feel like much, standing, but it's the difference between staying trapped and breaking free. Most people give their power away to fear, waiting for fear to disappear before they move. But fear only fades when you face it head on. Your greatest victories will be born from the moments you chose to move while your hands were shaking and your heart was pounding. You may not win right away, but you will grow, standing. And growth is its own form of victory. If you think you're waiting for the right tools, connections, or resources, understand this. Starting with nothing is how most great stories begin. It's not about having the perfect setup. It's about using what you have until you can get more. Too many people believe they need to prepare for years before they can start, but preparation without action becomes a trap. You can only learn so much from the outside. The real lessons happen in the arena. Every action you take reveals the next step, and every step builds the foundation for the next level. You don't need the whole staircase. Standing, you just need to take the first step today. The fear of making the wrong move keeps people frozen. Standing. But what they don't realize is that standing still is also a decision, and often the worst one. Life doesn't wait for your hesitation to pass. It moves with or without you. The world will not slow down to match your pace, so you must learn to move while the pressure is on. There is no safe zone where you can figure everything out without risk. The fight begins the moment you step into it. And the longer you stand outside the fight, the weaker your will becomes. Courage is built through repetition. The more you act, the easier it becomes to act again. That's how momentum works. Standing. And momentum is the silent force that changes everything. Deep down, you already know what you need to do. It's not a mystery. The ideas, the goals, standing. The changes you've been thinking about aren't waiting for more research. They're waiting for you to commit. The decision to start isn't complicated. Standing. It's just uncomfortable. That discomfort is the doorway to every achievement you'll ever have. Walk through it. And you'll discover that the fear you felt was smaller than you imagined, and the reward is greater than you dreamed. Standing. The fight doesn't begin when you have everything figured out. It begins the moment you decide to stop hiding behind the illusion of not ready yet. There is no ready. There is only now. Pain is not the enemy you've been taught to avoid. It's the teacher you've been refusing to learn from. Standing, every comfort you cling to is like padding that keeps you from feeling the sharp edges of life, but those sharp edges are where strength is carved. When you hide from struggle, you rob yourself of the chance to grow into the person you were meant to be. Pain forces you to face the truth about yourself, stripping away the lies, the excuses, standing, and the masks you wear to feel safe. It exposes your weaknesses, but it also shows you the potential you've been burying under fear. Every challenge that hurts is shaping you, standing, molding you into someone stronger, faster, and harder to break. Comfort may feel good, but it keeps you soft, and softness can't survive the battles life throws at you. Pain will make you question whether you have what it takes, and that's the point. Because the answer is always built through the fight, not before it. The world has sold you the idea that life should be easy, that if something is meant for you, it will come without effort or discomfort. But the truth is, nothing worth having comes without a price, and pain is often the first payment. The moments that break you are the same moments that build you if you refuse to quit. Think about the people you admire, the stories that inspire you. Every single one is rooted in struggle. They bled for their victories. They suffered through the storms, and they earned every scar they carry. You cannot bypass that process. There is no shortcut to real strength. Every rep in the gym, Every mile on the road, every hour spent grinding through exhaustion is a lesson written in sweat and pain. And while most run from it, the ones who embrace it are the ones who rise. Pain has a way of showing you your limits, but more importantly, it shows you they are not fixed. When your body is screaming to stop, when your mind is begging for relief, you are standing at the doorway of your real potential. This is the place where most people quit because it feels unbearable. But if you push through, you discover that you had more to give, more fight to unleash, more strength to summon. Standing. That discovery doesn't just change how you see the challenge. It changes how you see yourself. You begin to understand that limits are illusions, and the only way to shatter them is to meet them head on. Pain becomes a compass, pointing you toward the exact place you need to go. Instead of avoiding it, you chase it, and knowing it's where growth lives. The fight against pain is a mental war long before it's a physical one. Your mind will tell you that pain is a sign to stop, standing, that you're in danger, that you're breaking down. And while there are moments to protect yourself from true harm, most of the time, that voice is just fear in disguise. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of discovering you're not as strong as you hoped. But here's the truth. Standing. You can't find out how strong you are without going to the edge and staying there longer than is comfortable. Pain is the proof that you're in the right place and that you're doing the work most won't dare to do. It is the toll you pay to access levels of grit and determination that the average person will never know. Standing. There's a transformation that happens when you stop running from discomfort and start using it as fuel. The very thing that once scared you becomes the thing you seek out because you know it's the only path to becoming unshakable. Every time you face pain and endure it, you take power away from fear. You realize that pain is temporary, but the strength it leaves behind is permanent. Your body adapts, your mind sharpens, and your will hardens like steel. Standing. You stop being surprised by challenges and start welcoming them because they are opportunities to prove to yourself again and again that you will not break. Standing. This mindset changes the way you live because nothing can intimidate someone who has walked through fire and refused to burn. Pain teaches discipline in a way comfort never can. And comfort will lull you into a false sense of security, convincing you that you've done enough, that you've earned the right to stop. Pain reminds you that the work is never done, that there is always another level, another hill, another fight. It humbles you, stripping away ego and replacing it with respect for the process. You can't cheat your way through it. You can't fake it, and you can't buy your way out. The only way to earn the reward is to endure the grind. Standing. Every moment you push through the discomfort is like adding bricks to the foundation of a fortress no one else can tear down. Standing. Discipline is built in those moments when you want to quit but don't. Most people spend their lives searching for a way around pain, looking for the shortcut that will let them win without struggle. But shortcuts rob you of the very thing you need most: resilience. The easy path might get you there faster, but it won't prepare you for what happens when things get hard again, and they always do. Pain forces you to earn your victories, and because of that, it also makes you capable of keeping them. When you've suffered for something, you value it more, you protect it more, and you understand its worth in a way no shortcut ever could. Pain gives weight to your wins, and it makes the fight worth it. If you've been running from pain, understand this: it's been chasing you for a reason. It's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to rebuild you into someone stronger. Every trial, every setback, standing, every hardship you faced is an invitation to grow. The problem is that most people see pain as a sign they're losing, when in reality, it's proof they're in the middle of becoming. The next time it comes, don't shrink away from it. Stand your ground and let it do its work. Because one day, standing, you'll look back at the moments that hurt the most and realize they were the moments that defined you. Pain will demand more from you than you think you have. Standing, but that's how it reveals the truth, that you've always had more in you than you believed. Standing. It will strip away the excuses and force you to see the strength you've been hiding from yourself. The question is not whether you can avoid it, but whether you will use it. Will you let pain break you, or will you let it forge you? The answer is in the way you respond the next time it shows up. And it will show up again and again, standing, because that's the nature of life. Your mind is the first battlefield, and it will try to convince you to surrender long before your body has reached its limit. The moment you start to push yourself, that inner voice begins whispering excuses, telling you that you've done enough, that you can stop now. It will magnify every ache, amplify every doubt, and make quitting sound like the smart choice. But those thoughts are lies disguised as protection. Standing, your body can endure far more than your mind is willing to admit, yet most people never discover that truth because they give in too early. The ones who find out what they're truly capable of are the ones who ignore that voice and keep going anyway. Every time you override your mind's cry for comfort, standing, you step into a version of yourself that is stronger, sharper, and harder to break. Standing. That's how mental toughness is built, by refusing to believe the lies your brain feeds you when things get hard. The mind's primary job is survival, not greatness. And survival means avoiding discomfort. This is why so many people stop at the first sign of real struggle. Their brain interprets discomfort as danger. But discomfort isn't danger, it's the birthplace of progress. When you push past the point your mind labels as enough, you enter a space few ever reach. Standing, it's where strength is built, not just physically, but in the core of who you are. And most will never find it because they confuse the warning signs of effort with the signals of true harm. Learning to distinguish between the two is the key to unlocking more endurance than you ever thought possible. You have to teach your mind that discomfort is not a stop sign. It's an invitation to grow. Breaking through mental limits requires a willingness to feel the full weight of resistance and keep moving. The mind thrives on patterns, and if you've conditioned yourself to quit when things get tough, quitting will always feel like the easiest option. But patterns can be rewired. Standing, every time you choose to push through, you are teaching your brain a new truth, that you can survive, even thrive, beyond that point of resistance. This isn't just about physical endurance. It's about proving to yourself that you can hold the line when everything in you wants to retreat. That proof is priceless because it carries into every area of your life. Once you know you can endure here, you realize you can endure anywhere. The mind's weakness feeds on your attention, so the more you focus on how tired you are, the more unbearable the effort feels. You have to shift your focus away from the pain and onto the mission. When you fix your eyes on the goal instead of the struggle, the weight you're carrying starts to feel lighter. This doesn't mean the pain disappears. It means you stop giving it the power to control you. Energy follows focus, and if you focus on quitting, you will quit. If you focus on finishing, you will finish. This is why clarity of purpose matters. It becomes the anchor that holds you steady when your mind tries to pull you away. Standing, your mind will try to negotiate with you. When the pressure is on, offering small bargains to make quitting sound reasonable. Just slow down. It will say, "You've done enough for today." It will remind you of your past efforts, as if to say you've already earned the right to stop. But greatness is not earned through negotiation. It's earned through discipline. If you listen to those bargains long enough, they become your truth. And before you know it, you've trained yourself to stop at the same point every time. The only way to break that cycle is to refuse every offer your mind gives you to quit. You have to treat each attempt at negotiation as a test of your will and pass that test over and over again. There's a moment just beyond your breaking point where something changes. The struggle doesn't disappear, but your relationship with it shifts. You stop seeing it as an enemy and start seeing it as a gateway. It's in that moment that your body reveals it has more to give, and your mind realizes it can keep going. That moment is rare because it requires enduring more than most people are willing to endure. But once you experience it, you never forget it, and it becomes a part of you. Standing. You begin to chase that feeling, not because you enjoy the pain, but because you crave the growth that comes with it. This is where your best self is forged. Most people live their entire lives operating at a fraction of their true capacity, never even scratching the surface of what they can endure. They live in the comfort zone their mind has created for them, thinking it's safety when it's actually a cage. The bars of that cage are built from self-imposed limits reinforced by quitting too soon. Standing. By giving into that inner voice that says, this is too much. But the key to that cage has been in your hand all along, and it's called action. Every time you push through one of those limits, you bend the bars a little further until one day they break completely. Then you're free to see what you're really made of. Your mind will always choose the path of least resistance if you let it, but that path leads nowhere worth going. The road to achievement is uphill, rough, standing, and full of obstacles. And your mind will fight you every step of the way. That's why the fight has to be intentional. You can't just hope your mind will stay strong when it's been trained to quit. You have to train it for war every single day in small ways and big ones. Staying every choice to endure something uncomfortable is like adding armor to your mental strength. Over time, you become harder to break, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. The truth is, your body will almost always have more to give, but your mind will almost always tell you it doesn't. Standing. The challenge is deciding which one to listen to. If you give in to the voice that says stop, you'll never know how far you could have gone. Standing. But if you silence that voice and keep going, you'll discover a part of yourself you never knew existed. That part of you isn't fragile. It doesn't crumble under pressure. It thrives in it. And once you've found it, you can carry it into every challenge you'll ever face, knowing you've already proven that you can go beyond the limit your mind tried to set for you. No one will remember the person who almost started, who kept planning, standing, or who stayed on the sidelines waiting for the right time. The world remembers the ones who showed up, took the hits, and kept swinging when most would have walked away. Standing. Legacy is not built in moments of comfort. It's forged in the heat of the fight. Every day you choose to act, you are writing a line in your story, whether you realize it or not. The question is, what kind of story will it be? Will it be about hesitation, excuses, and missed chances, or will it be about courage, grit, standing, and relentless pursuit? The fight is where your name earns weight, not in the waiting room of life. Every battle you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself and to the world who you are. Waiting is invisible, fighting leaves marks. It's easy to talk about what you want to do, to dream about the life you could have, but dreams without action dissolve into nothing. Standing. Every second you delay is a second stolen from the life you could be living. The truth is, people remember the fighters because they leave a trail of victories, scars, and moments that inspire others to rise. You don't inspire anyone by standing still. You inspire by moving forward when you're tired. Standing. When it feels like the odds are stacked against you. Those moments, the ones where you could have quit, but didn't, are the seeds of your legacy. Standing. They grow into a reputation of strength that will outlast you. But you can't plant seeds without getting your hands dirty in the fight. Legacy is not something you find by accident. It's something you build with deliberate choices. Standing. It's built when you wake up and choose the harder path, because you know the easy one won't take you anywhere worth going. Standing. It's built when you push through the days you don't feel like it, when you show up anyway, and when you refuse to break no matter how heavy the load becomes. Every challenge is a brick in the foundation of the life you leave behind. But bricks don't lay themselves. You have to place them, one grueling, determined move at a time. Most people want the building without the labor, but it doesn't work like that. You have to be willing to bleed for the walls you're building. Standing. You can't build a legacy in secret, hidden from the struggle. The fight is public, even if no one is watching at first. People eventually see the results. Standing. But they'll never truly understand the battles you fought to get there. That's why the fight has to matter to you before it matters to anyone else. Standing. You can't fight for applause. You have to fight for the person you're becoming. Applause fades, but the pride of knowing you gave everything lasts forever. Standing. And when others finally notice, it's not because you told them to look. It's because you've become impossible to ignore. Standing. You fought your way into a place where your results speak louder than your words ever could. The danger in waiting is that time has a way of erasing potential. The longer you put off the fight, the more you lose the sharpness, the hunger, and the edge you once had. You start to settle, and settling is the silent death of ambition. Standing. One day turns into 1 year, and before you know it, you're looking back wondering where the time went. But fighters don't have that problem, standing, because they know every day is a chance to move the story forward. They don't waste chapters, they fill them with action. Standing. Even small steps in the fight are worth more than the grandest plans left unstarted. The fight is where you prove to yourself that you can outlast pain, fear, and fatigue. Standing, every round you survive strengthens the belief that you can survive the next one. This self-belief is the most valuable thing you can own, because it fuels every future battle. And when you keep showing up, round after round, people take notice. They see that you don't just talk about perseverance, you live it. Standing. That consistency becomes part of your name, your identity, your legacy. It tells the world you're not just passing through life, you're here to leave a mark that can't be erased. It's not enough to win once. One victory doesn't build a legacy. A legacy is built through a lifetime of showing up. This is why the fight never really ends. Every achievement is just another step, another chapter, another reason to keep going. You can't protect a legacy with words. You protect it by continuing to earn it. The moment you stop fighting, the story begins to fade, and someone else will take the place you once held. Standing. That's why the truly great keep pushing long after others would have stopped. They understand that the fight is the only thing keeping the fire alive. One day, standing, all that will be left of you is the story people tell. They won't remember every detail of your life, but they will remember how you made them feel, what you stood for, standing, and the battles you fought. They will remember whether you faced life head on or back down. The fight you choose today becomes the memory they carry tomorrow. If you give them nothing to remember, your name disappears the moment you're gone. But if you give them a reason, if you fight for something bigger than yourself, your story will echo long after you can no longer tell it. The truth is, a legacy isn't built in a single moment. It's built in thousands of moments where you could have stopped but didn't. It's in the decisions you make when no one is watching. Standing. The effort you give when no one will ever know. That's the fight that matters most, because it's the one that shapes who you really are. And when you string enough of those moments together, you create something unshakable. Your legacy becomes more than just your story. It becomes a blueprint for others to follow, proof that it's possible to rise, to fight, and to win. And when the day comes that you can no longer step into the ring, you'll know that you've left more than just memories. You've left a standard of effort, courage, of commitment that will inspire others long after you're gone. You know that you didn't waste your time waiting for the perfect moment, because you created moments worth remembering. That's the power of choosing the fight over the wait. That's the kind of story that doesn't just end. It lives on, standing. And in the end, that's what it means to have truly lived.